Hey, happy Tuesday. I didn't want to touch the subject, but something occurred, I think, starting last week, where the president of Mexico started judging the U.S. For blaming the U.S. for the migration problems and blaming it on sanctions on Cuba and Venezuela and all this other crap. Okay? We're hurting their business because we're not buying their stolen oil or whatever, you know. And all these migrants are passing through Mexico and the Mexicans can't handle it and all this stuff. I'm sorry, since when can Mexicans not handle anything? Okay? Mexico is built off of a basis of you build your own, you hold your own mentality, which is why cartels still hold their own, which is why all those that are filthy rich are holding their own without having to pay taxes, and the people that are left in poverty and all that are having to hold their own in their shanties and all this other stuff, you know, heating water with the power of the sun, you know, having the sun heat up their water and all this other crap. I mean, you have them from levels where everything is provided with all of the resources, all the way down to everybody trying to make it with the minimal resources that they have. Okay, since when is Mexico such a helpless whatever the hell that the U.S. that won't do business with Cuba or Venezuela is at the problem of their thing? See, it's all still confusing even right now, and it's just downright stupid. You know, because Mexico has an army and they don't have a language barrier. Technically, they can arm the migrants and have them go back into whatever country that they came from and knock out the terroristic threat that the gangs are doing, as well as knock out the political ruling power that's allowing all of this stuff. What's going on in all those countries? Why are they so messed up? Well, it's very simple. The law is being bought by both legal side and criminal side, and criminals and political powers aren't doing anything to stop each other. They're just they're just abusing their powers and taking it out on the people. That's the reason why hundreds of thousands of people are fleeing. If there was any way joining a gang would be able to save your family, there would have been so much gang warfare going on over there that, yeah, I mean, there is, but there would still be, I mean, everybody would draw a line and everybody would cross it. A line would be drawn and people would cross where they wanted to stand. Okay? They would stand on whatever side of that line, you know, that it was. And if the wealthy and the people that are the landowners and all them that own and run the government and all this other shit, if they were worth a damn, they wouldn't be neglecting all the crime, you know. But much like many disorganized groups, the organized groups tend to just stick to their own. You know, they tend to grab lots of money and they tend to grab lots of power, but just for their families, their people. Okay, and now here's Mexico. Back up to the current statement that this is all the U.S. problems. It's like, we didn't tell you guys to run things like crap. You know, you guys chose to run things the way you did, and this is what you got. You got everybody fending for their own selves. Nobody being able to do anything with the thing. Now, don't get me wrong. The U.S. has that also, but it's nowhere near to the extreme. Technically, we've got the materials and the opportunity. We just have a bunch of people that don't want to invest anything. That's our problem. We just got a bunch of political power to corporate power to social power that don't want to invest in it. It's all landing on volunteers. Despite the fact that, like here in San Antonio, we've got a migrant facility But the government and even our state government, our state administration is saying, well, it's your problem, San Antonio. You're the one that put them in your city. You deal with it. Now, have everybody had gone hand in hand working together, there wouldn't be a migrant problem. It would just be, a typical program, and we'd have to be then keeping an eye on certain levels of power that are doing nothing but pocket the dough while claiming everything is okay. That swindle thing, the hustle, skimming off the top and such. But what we got right now is the exact opposite. What we got right now is America doing exactly what Mexico is doing, and that's tending to their people and then only their people, while leaving the migrants to suffer. When none of that, or leaving the migrants to any volunteers, when none of that is a problem. The volunteers is a good thing, but it's not the only thing. Okay, volunteering can only go so far. Just like technically spending, using city employment and city services and all that can only go so far. Using state services, it's a lot more helpful. It only goes so far, but it's a lot more helpful when collaborating with the city, which is collaborating with the volunteers. And volunteers can go statewide. And if all of those could actually be organized at the federal level, well then, dude, you've got so much crap going on that'll be taking care of everything. Everybody sees a bunch of volunteers and all this stuff, and everybody just spits. And it's stupid. It's stupid. So, everything from like the people who are helping in Africa. Now it's a scandal. Bill Gates is trying to make slaves out of all of y'all. And at the same time, there aren't any slaves anywhere around here. There's no crop plantations. There's nobody, there's no house whatevers, and all this other crap. They're trying to mark you. So what? What good does that do? What's the purpose in putting a digital chip in there? And then to top it all off, a chip that can last forever based off of a shot injection. So a microchip that's tinier than the size of a needle hole, which is what needs to be the size that it needs to be into a person, is stronger than and more lasting than anything other technology has created? I don't think so. I think that's the most idiotic theory out of them all. But yeah, back to this subject where you got a finger pointing going on. In all out honesty, because in my mind, it's all about the money. Belief is the tool. Okay? Now Mexico is complaining that the U.S. is responsible for all the migrant problems that they've got on their side of the border. The Remain in Mexico policy, and all this other crap. And sanctions on Venezuela and Cuba. Nobody's telling anybody to leave Venezuela. Nobody's telling anybody to leave Cuba. Nobody's saying that we should send them back to or anything like that. Nobody's saying anything like that. Venezuela doesn't want to work with anybody. They've never worked with anybody. They've only claimed their own oil went with Chavez or something, whatever the hell his name was, who did nothing but discriminate against his own people. That's one of the reasons why they were leaving Venezuela. All hundreds of thousands of citizens were leaving Venezuela. Now, if all the Venezuelans want to get together here in the U.S. and join the military and be deployed back to Venezuela to kick the crap out of their leaders, well, that's a plan. If all those Haitians want to go here, join the military, and then have us invade Haiti and knock out the douchebags that are creating all the mess over there, that's a plan. But for all these countries to just finger point and blame and all this other crap, that is 100% crap. And we have every right not to put up with it. Thing is, migration problems is still going to need a plan, you know? It's still going to need a plan, and it's going to need one very obviously very, very soon. Because again, I have this kind of stuff being a problem. We can't have political leaders gain power by finger pointing and blaming and shaming and all this other crap, while the migrant crisis is still an ongoing thing. What we need is a leader that has a solution. You know, Abbott's been suing the government for a bunch of money. It's up to $6 billion plus now. New York joined the bandwagon instead of doing the labor and work that it takes to tend to migrants. You know, and so they're suing the government. They're suing Biden for more money. They're getting it in tens of millions of dollars. Yeah, but nevertheless, that stuff's going to add up. And now we got another country, Mexico, that's finger pointing and blaming and shaming to Biden. And I got to tell you, Mexico needs to hold their own. You know, they don't have a language barrier. They've got enough resources to also to take care of migrants as well. You know, so this crap that it's all America's fault. No, I don't want to start seeing Biden signing checks to aid Mexico into housing and just have Mexico do nothing but put up more tents, hand over a couple of soup kitchens while pocketing the rest of the money. That I'm sorry. That's where the line has to be drawn. But anyway, that's my spiel. I just had to let that out, okay? Everything that I just said has been bobbed up in my mind, and I just spilt the beans. So that's the reason why it's coming out is blah, 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 blah. Sorry about that. But, yeah, I really need to redo this one. In fact, I think I will. I'll just hang on to this or something. Actually, no. I'll finish this with a promise to look into this situation where other countries are blaming the migrant crisis on the U.S. and why they're doing it. As y'all know, common sense on common ground says it's all about the money. Belief is the tool. Okay? There's a problem. We need to shame the U.S. Why? Probably because they want more money. They want money with funds and all this stuff and donations and all that to go to them. And it's more than likely because Mexico just isn't doing it themselves. Ooh, excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. But I'll find out. Just out of curiosity, if any of you actually know what's going on with that, you know, why Mexico is starting to do nothing but shame blame and all this other crap. Throw in your 2 cents. But please don't tell me this rhetoric crap that all the other people are talking about. It's provided to gain more power, more voting power. Illegals can't vote. And election is coming up next year. The election is coming up next year. Illegals can't be vetted within a year. It takes 2 years plus, 2 to 4 years to become citizens. So drop that theory. That theory is still to this day the most idiotic theory ever. But yeah, if you can figure out this particular case with the name blaming and the shaming and all this other crap, why other countries are doing this, please let me know. Put it in the comments section, okay? Thank you. This is Chris Comments, signing out.